What's up guys, Zame here. So today was the Pokemon TCG Regional Championship here in Singapore. Now I'm gonna be completely honest, I did contemplate on making this video cause I really didn't film anything during the event itself. But I just got home like maybe an hour ago from the event and I figured there were some things that I wanted to talk about, so I'm gonna make this video anyways. So first things first, I do want to apologize for the lack of footage cause again, I didn't film anything while I was at the event. So I'll try to include photos and some b-rolls here and there as best as I can to keep it visually entertaining, but I do apologize if it's a bit more lacking for this video in particular. Nonetheless, I'll try to keep it as brief as I can, try to breeze through what I need to talk about, and let's just get right into it. So once again, today was the Pokemon TCG Regional Championship for us in Singapore. About a week ago, I was still trying to decide what deck I wanted to play for the event, cause truth be told, I've been out of the game for quite some time and I've just not been practicing as much as I should have for the event. If I'm being completely honest, I really wanted to go with Blastoise EX for regionals. I know it's a really bad idea, but Blastoise is one of my favorite Pokemon, and the fact that Blastoise EX is actually a pretty decent deck, it really made me want to try go for it and just try see where I can get with it in regionals. And my second deck choice was Miraidon EX. It's a tried and tested deck for me. It's something that I'm very comfortable with, so it was kind of a no-brainer decision for me to consider Miraidon EX. So last Sunday, I met up with a few friends. Shout out to Faiz, Jamil and Aiman, and we just sat down and had a proper playtest session, and it really helped me see what deck I should go with, which is Miraidon EX. Again, I still don't think Blastoise EX is a terrible deck, but the fact that there is a rise in the number of Miraidon players really concerned me. So as far as preparation goes, that's basically what happened behind the scenes. Let's talk about regionals now. Now I did register for regionals, but again, because of the balloting system that we have here in Singapore, I actually got declined for regionals. That pretty much meant that if I really wanted to take part in regionals, I had to walk in, which is exactly what I did. Lucky for me, the waitlist wasn't based on a pre-made waitlist beforehand, and it's based on a first come first serve service. So all I had to do was just get to the venue as early as possible, try to get in the queue as quickly as I can, and the odds of me getting in were pretty much high. Which, by the way, the venue for this particular regionals was at Safra Toa Payoh, so it's not a terribly far place for me, but it's still quite a distance. So yeah, I got to the venue at about 9:30. The counters were opened at about 10 AM, so I started to get in the queue at about like 9:40, I think. Actually, they gave us queue numbers. Give me a second, let me go grab it. So yeah, those in the walk-in queue were issued a queue number. So mine was number 4. They said that they were gonna let the waitlist know at about 11 AM whether we'd be in or not, because they gotta let in all the pre-registered players before letting those in the waitlist in. So yeah, it was about an hour of us just waiting, doing absolutely nothing, just feeling anxious as to whether we would actually get in or not. But at about 11:15 AM, they started to let the waitlist in, and I think pretty much everyone in the waitlist got in. I think there were about between 20 to 30 people in the waitlist, and I'm pretty sure everyone got in. In fact, I'm 100% certain that everyone in the waitlist got in. Once I got into the venue, I actually made a beeline for the Pokemon Center pop-up store, but unfortunately there weren't any regional exclusive items sold, so there wasn't really anything interesting to get. So yeah, at that point it was basically just waiting for pairings to be up, and I did take note of my matches for what I played today, so let me go check what I went against on round 1. So yeah, when they announced for the pairings for round 1, so this was a funny story. When I looked at who I was paired against, I saw that I was paired against one of the best players in Singapore, Mr. Yong Xiang himself. If you know who he is, you know his rapport in the Pokemon TCG scene. Again, one of the best players. So when I saw that, I knew I was done for. But either way, I went to my table. When we revealed our cards, I saw that he was playing Rapid Strike Urshifu, which, as a Miraidon player, probably one of the last few decks you want to see. And again, I was playing against one of the best players in Singapore, so I knew I was pretty much done for. But nonetheless, I still tried my best to do what I can. But long story short, I lost. I lost round 1. That's fine. So yeah, on to round 2. I actually went against someone who I kinda got connected through Twitch. So yeah, Mr. Squirtlex, if you're watching, Nice to meet you. But yeah, he was playing Lost Box Gudra, which, truth be told, I had some trouble trying to navigate myself fighting against this deck, because yeah, again, I'm just really out of practice, and I pretty much lost round 2 as well against Lost Box Gudra. Round 3, I was up against a God of War EX deck, something that I've not gone up against in quite some time. Not the most terrible matchup, if I'm being honest, but I bricked. So yeah, I bricked and lost round 3. So at this point, I was just going 0-3, which not my first time, so it wasn't a new feeling for me. Round 4, I went against someone who I have played against over at GGG, one of the casual tourneys that I attended at GGG. I do apologize for not catching the guy's name. But yeah, I went against him and he was playing Qianpao Palkia. It's not a one-sided matchup by any means. Despite the weakness, Qianpao could easily win Miraidon if set up properly. But he kind of bricked and I managed to get both his Frigibaxes out as soon as possible. So I pretty much got my first win of the day. So, and on to round 5. So round 5 was me against a Lost Box Giratina deck. Now before I go into the match itself, here's the thing. So usually in these big events, round 5 is where they start giving out the promo cards. Now if you watch my vlog on the Singapore Nationals like a few months back, they gave out an Ultra Ball stamped promo. They did give out something similar for regionals as well, but it's an Iono stamped promo. I'll include some B-roll footage for the card right here. So yeah, before the matches for round 5 started, the staff started to give out the promos, and a lot of people started to have this mindset of, you know what, I've gotten what I need for the event. I really don't care whether I win or lose for round 5 onwards, because basically a lot of people who attended regionals just wanted that Iono stamped promo. So before the match began, the guy who I was up against, he was just like, bro, you know what? I'm just gonna give you a win. He already took the slip that we have to sign after each match. He put a tick against my name, but we still played nonetheless. He just said, no what, bro, we're just gonna play, but I really don't care. I'm just gonna give you a win. So I was like, okay, I mean, if you're gonna give me a free win, I really don't care. But either way, we still played, and when we were having our like casual match, I still managed to win him nonetheless. So in a way, I still won. So yeah, I won against Lost Box Giratina. I should point out that in fact, not even at this point, around round 3, I started to feel really freaking hungry. It just hit me that I forgot to eat earlier before the event started. Like between that window of 10 to 11 a.m. when I was just waiting and doing nothing, I should have had the sensibility to just go get something to eat, but I didn't. I don't know why. I think the anxiety of me not knowing whether I get into the event or not kind of made me forget to eat. So after round 5, I was just completely famished, and so I told myself, you know what, my score is only 2-3 at this point, and I've already gotten the Iono promo. I'm just gonna bounce. So that's exactly what I did. Usually when I attend these events, I like to see it through. I just play all 8 rounds, and even if I'm doing badly, I just like to see where I stand overall. But this is my first time where I just leave an event halfway through, because I really just couldn't take it anymore. Yeah, I just left and went home. 2-3 overall with Miraidon EX. That's pretty much how I did for the regionals. Now, on to some feedback, I'd say, about the event. Because there were some concerns that not only I myself had, but a lot of people basically shared the same consensus. First things first, it's about the deck registration. Basically for pre-registered players, they were supposed to register their decks on the trainers portal by 11:59 p.m. last night, which is a fair thing. That's fine. The only argument I would say is the fact that those of us who were walking in had the option to submit our deck list when we were getting our queue numbers. Basically, when I got this queue number, I had to submit my deck list. So that's like a 10-hour difference in our deck list submission, which a lot of the people who were pre-registered were really unhappy with. And even I myself, even though it works in my advantage, I still feel like it's a bit unfair. So I feel like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure TPC is not watching this, but if you guys are, what I would suggest is that for people like us, like myself, who registered, but even though we got declined, maybe there could be an option for us to still register our decks in case we want to walk in, and we also have to register our decks by 11:59 p.m. Give it the same submission timing, but whether or not we walk in is like a different story. I don't know, maybe like a separate walk-in registration online. I know it sounds kind of stupid, but in the name of making things fair for everyone involved, I feel like this could be an option. So basically, even if you're walking in, your deck list has to be registered beforehand, which I know sounds kind of stupid, but again, it's all in the name of making things fair, right? Also, if you're wondering how serious it is that they wanted to make sure that pre-registered players registered their decks by 11:59 p.m. the day before the event. So my friend Faiz, he thought he registered his deck beforehand, but apparently there was some glitch or something and it didn't capture that he registered his deck. And even though at 10 a.m. when he was at the counter, he tried to register it on the spot, the judges were able to capture the fact that he didn't register his deck on time, and basically they gave him the penalty of a round 1 loss just because he didn't register his deck. So that's how serious it is for you to be able to register your deck before the event. For the pre-registered players at least. Now the next thing is something that isn't really a criticism on my end, it's just something that I find a bit odd, is the fact that a lot of players got declined, like myself. So basically the event was capped at 250 people, and by the time everyone got registered, even including the waitlist people like myself, they announced that there were a total of 230 players, which is less than the cap of how much people they were expecting, which is kind of weird. So it's like, why even have that many people decline in the first place? Because it's not like, if it's just like less than 10 people who were declined, I can kind of see why, but we had, again, between 20 to 30 people who were declined, which is kind of odd. So I don't know, maybe this could be something that they could look into, because I do know that there were a number of people who registered for the event who literally only had the idea of trying to get the Iono stamp promo in mind and really not even care about the games. So I don't know, maybe they could try figure out something to try filter this from happening in the future. I don't know. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it, all I have to say for this event. Long story short, Miraudon EX, not my best play for today's event, but I don't know if I could have done any better to begin with. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about the regionals today. To anyone else who went to the event, let me know what you think about everything that I commented, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Let's have a healthy discussion on how things could be improved for the Pokemon TCG scene in Singapore, because even though things are doing much better than they used to, but again, things can always be better. So let's have a discussion on that, and I think that's all I have to say for now. Oh yeah, one last thing before I go, if you guys are interested in this Master Ball t-shirt that I'm wearing, you can purchase it from my merch store. So quick shameless plug over there. So do check out the merch store. If you see anything that you like, metal themed Pokemon shirts, do pick one up. It really helps me out. Like, subscribe, all that YouTube nonsense, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.